So I think the best way to go about this is to start off just, we'll go to the right. So it's going to be like base, then blue, and all that. So base color is kind of a polarizing one because some Legends base color I think is like horrible. I think it's terrible. But some characters like Retro Reaper, which we're going to be showing like all the colors on, right? I think it's pretty good. I think base color, sometimes for me at least, helps with like visual clarity. I'm not going to say it's S simply because like it doesn't enhance anything. It's just either it's good or it is not. But when it's good, which I think is honestly more often than not, I think because every legend has a unique color palette with it. So I'm going to just keep it an A. A lot of the original colors to me, I honestly could probably do them all really fast because I doubt many people care about them. Blue though, I think blue out of the base colors, because we have a lot of crazy colors nowadays. So like blue to me is, I'll give blue a B. I don't know, blue's like a calmer color. It isn't like really crazy and it looks fine in most of everything. You can't really go wrong with blue. Yellow to me, right? Yellow to me is a color that I see some people use. It's kind of like brown where there's no good reason to be using yellow. There really isn't. I feel like people just use it because they want to be able to say, I use yellow. I'm that guy. I use yellow or I use brown, right? Or like orange. Those are where those colors kind of fall. And for me, yellow again, I'm going to put yellow in C because I don't think it's bad. But again, really the only reason you're ever going to use a color like yellow, blue, just all the default ones is if you're trying to be like different. So out of the base colors, green is actually, I think green may be a B. I think it goes behind blue. But green, it gives that little yellow, as you can see, like in the visor and like the scythe and stuff. It's not just like a solid color, right? Or like different shades of the same color. It actually adds in a little more. I think green's not that bad. Like it's the same philosophy as blue. It's not that harsh on the eyes. It adds a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a base color. The only part about brown that I really, really like is the red in it. Other than that, brown's easily like the bottom of the barrel to me. I think brown is so bad aside from the red in it. Brown's that color, again, it's kind of like yellow or any base color where you're only using it to be like, yeah, I use brown, like, what of it? There's no reason to use it. There's so many better colors. Like, if you want the red, just use red. For now, I'm going to give purple the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say it's actually the top of B. I think it's slightly better than blue. Like, it has blue in it, and it also has, a lot of purple, and I think purple is, like, a pretty cool color. So, there it is. Okay, orange, I don't think orange is bad, but I think orange is honestly, in my mind, it has a little variety, right? But I'm not a huge fan of the orange on a lot of characters. Like, orange is a good color overall. I just think when you're putting it on characters in Brawlhalla, like, I've never seen anyone use this. I think out of all colors, I think this is one of the least used. I think this color is possibly one of the more underappreciated ones. I think cyan is honestly, I'm going to put it top of B. I mean, it's like a better blue. It has the orange in it. Like, just looking at Retro Reaper Nyx, like, this is actually an insane color palette. And you don't need, like, to spend a bunch of coins on it or anything. It's just there. It's not a seasonal. It's one of the better ones that has more variety, that looks good on most characters, and it's available very early on. So for Sunset, I think Sunset does a lot considering all the other colors that are before it. I think Sunset, it has like some purple in it. It has like different variations of pink. It has a little bit of orange. It has a little bit of like, I don't know, at least on the hair for this Nyx, it's blonde. But I think Sunset's doing a lot and it does it overall pretty well. So for that, I'm giving it A. To me, gray is not really that impressive. I feel like I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't put it in B really. So I'm going to say gray. I mean, it has a little bit of orange. It's not just one solid color. Gray in the middle of the pack on B for me. I think that's honestly pretty fair. So I don't normally use pink, but I think pink overall in the game is one of the better colors in the game. I'm not going to give it S, but I think right now, pink is one of those things. It's consistently good. It's consistently good across the board, no matter what the legend. You're going to be able to see the legend really easy, right? Which I think is very important. It gives a little bit of variation, but I don't think that's really what you're going for when you're using pink. If you like the color, then you're probably going to use it on every legend because there's not a single legend, I don't think, that looks bad in pink. Arguably one of my favorite colors in the game right now. That alone is enough to put it in S. I think red is just, I mean, to me, it's just the better version of pink. But obviously that's preference talking. I think red though, like, again, just across the board, like pink, it just looks good on any legend, any skin. I don't think you can really say that it looks like bad. At worst, it's like, you know, it's red. But if you like red, you know, for example, me, you're gonna put an S. Now, I'm a basic Benjamin, so for me, white's like a goated color. Simply because, like, I really like visual clarity in this game, and white is like pink and red, right? A lot of the times, it's the same across the board for every character. There's not really much variation between character to character. Now, I understand white it doesn't stand out or anything, right? But given what I value in this game, I think white is very, very good. Now, personally, given that I'm such a fan of white because of visual clarity, a big problem for me on black is that I can't see it very well, or I can't, like, distinguish a lot of things, like when I'm out of jumps and stuff. But I still think black is very, very good across the board. When you look at this skin, right, the hints of red are very, very nice. And that's something that white doesn't have. But given what I personally value, I think black is still going to be like top of A. On release, like most like colors, like new colors when they come out, on release, I thought Winter Holiday was so good. I used it on Val so much, right? The white hair combined with like the green and red, I think is very good. But other than that, Winter Holiday now, to me, I'm going to give it a B, but it's like one of those earlier colors like that have variety to it. But nowadays, like, the standard's pretty high. So honestly, I'm going to put it top of B. I don't think it deserves to really go much lower. If it works on some legends, you know, it looks pretty good, but other legends, it's kind of like, I'll just use like a different color. There's not really much reason to be using Winter Holiday. To me, Lovestruck's one of those colors that ended up being more of a miss than a hit. I think if they did Lovestruck right, it would have been white, red, and pink. Like, better than those three. It would have been all three of those combined. It would have been an easy S, possibly my favorite in the game. But given how it got executed, now I don't know how colors are applied to each legend, but I think, given the nature of it, honestly, Lovestruck overall, it does too much, but it doesn't do it well. That's the thing. It does too much, and it does not do it well enough. So I'm going to say it's C. Another big miss, I honestly think, by Blue Mammoth Games. I remember when this color was first coming out, I thought it was going to be my favorite color in the game, right? If they added more blue instead of this, like, peach and, like, yellowish blonde color, it would have been so much better. But given that they didn't, and they allowed this color to just, like, slip through their hands, man, this color's, like, honestly a D. If brown is F, I gotta give this color a D. I think this is the worst, like, seasonal or event color that there is out there. It's really unfortunate that it ended up being like this. I have a feeling a lot of people aren't really going to be happy where I'm going to put this one. So, like I said, black is up there because I still think at the end of the day it's a good color. It's just not one I would use often. Haunting is one that I'm not a fan of the scheme necessarily. I don't think it's bad. I understand why people use it, but also given I like visual clarity and it's a darker color, it's a little hard. I'm going to give this one... You know, this one's kind of for the fans. I'm going to put it above Winter Holiday for sure. I think overall it's better. I just don't think it's amazing really in any way. Home Team on release, I think, was the best color in the game. But again, now that we have more colors out, Home Team, honestly, it's going to be an A. I don't really know where at. Now, these are kind of ordered. I'm not going to say, like, where exactly each are at. They're loosely ordered, right? Like, in tiers, they're ordered, but within tiers, you know, take it or leave it. If you don't agree with it, then I'll just say they're not ordered. But Home Team, I think, is a solid A. It does it pretty good. I think sometimes there's too much of the darker color. Like, if they had more of the gold and red, then I think it would have been way higher. Lucky Clover. Now we're getting into colors that I think are a little newer. This color, honestly, I give this color a lot of credit. I think it's one of my... Out of the events and stuff, I think it's a better one for sure. But at the end of the day, I'd never really use it. The color scheme makes sense for what it's for, right? Like St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to give it B. It's not super impressive considering the rest of the colors that we have left. But yeah, you know, it's still there. It's still all right. I get why people like it. This is probably the freest placement on here. Now, like I said, I like visual clarity. But the problem with white is that it's very bland. Well, this is a white that actually has some depth to it. Has a little purple on it. it looks amazing in just about every legend. I haven't really seen a legend that I don't like it in. This is in contention for best color in the game. I just value it a lot because it is a white. You know, it's a color that has a lot of white on it, so you can see. But also it has more to it than white. It's not bland. So you have a little more, you know, got that purple. Yeah, it looks good. Charged OG, I think you have to have the right skin to make it work. I don't think this Nyx skin really does it justice. But I will say, I think at the end of it, I think it's better than Home Team. But I don't know if it's better than like base on some legends. Because given, like I said, with base, you offer a lot of unique color palettes. And every legend's going to be different. Every skin's going to be different. Charged OG is a bit of hit or miss. But if it hits, it's really, really good. But if it misses, it's kind of like, okay, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to really use it ever. But yeah, it's still at the end of the day, I think a solid one. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I think the Battle Pass colors overall are some of the best that have been introduced in the game, which isn't a surprise to me. So with that being said, I'm going to put Soulfire right behind Gala. I think this color is just, it's so good overall. Like, it meshes super well. Every legend it looks very, very good on. The Battle Pass colors are always ones you look forward to. So I think you guys can like guess where I'm going to put the next ones at. So given what I said previously about Soulfire and just like the trajectory of all the Battle Pass colors, I think they're always like better and better most of the time. I think Synthwave misses a little bit, but then I think Frozen Forest, which I don't have an icon for, I think that makes up for it. I think Frozen Forest is probably right behind Soulfire, maybe in front. You could argue either way, but I think all the Battle Pass colors at the end of the day are going to be in S tier. Given I don't have an icon for Frozen Forest, I can't really talk about it too much, but I did talk about it with Synthwave. I think it's an S tier, possibly behind Soulfire, but it's hard to say. I haven't seen it on a ton of legends yet, given that the Battle Pass is still new and this is the current season's color. So once I think I unlock it for everyone, I'll probably be able to see overall and gather a better feeling of how it looks on everything. But honestly, it's a great color. I wouldn't be surprised if the next Battle Pass is the best colors yet. I remember when Skyforged was first released, and it was pretty hyped up, and I think it's held up. Given all the colors that they've added since Skyforged and Goldforged, I think it's held up very well. To me, I like the blue mixture that they have. I don't really know. Blue, gray. Yeah, it looks pretty good on just about anything. Some characters it doesn't look the best on, but I think it's honestly top of A. So this is another color that's kind of dependent on the skin, and I had my chat help me a bit with this. I couldn't decide if it really goes above Skyforged or if Goldforged goes below. The general consensus, though, is that it goes below, and I can't say I disagree. These two are pretty interchangeable, but really, I mean, if you find the right skin, this color is going to look amazing. But on some other ones, it's kind of like, why even bother like buying Skyforged in the first place to get Goldforged, because it just doesn't look that good. So CCs are honestly, they're a classic, right? I think they are the first color that was like everyone was wanting to get. I remember when CCs were like first around, before everyone had them, they were like the color to get. Nowadays, you know, they're whatever. I think CCs are still, they hold up okay. They were like the first color that really had like any like multicolors. They had multicolors. And nowadays, it's just like the base level. Like, right, I think every color from now on should be based off of CCs just because they were the first ones to really do it. Esports, to me, I remember when I first saw this, I thought it was super cool, but then I think the hype kind of got to me. And from other people I've talked with, I think it kind of got to them as well. I'm going to put, I mean, it's not a bad color scheme by any means. I really don't know where to put this. I'm going to say that it goes behind Goldforge, but esports overall, I think, is a bit overhyped and a bit overrated, but I think it's still, at the end of the day, is going to go in A. So the last two colors we have are the team colors. Now, these two, I think the red, given we put the other red in S, this one doesn't even compare, right? It's going to be top of D tier. Now, that's not really saying much, given there's only one other color there, but I think it's just so much worse than the other red that it doesn't really deserve to be any higher. On the other hand, though, I think that the team color blue is actually better than the like normal blue that you see as like a base color. I think just because it's a little lighter, it helps a bit. But yeah, I mean, neither of them are super spectacular. At the end of the day, I can't really give it a higher than a B. So here's my 2021 color list. I don't know what colors they're going to add in the future, but one can assume that they're only going to be probably like A tier to S tier. They've gotten better with it every single time. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, everyone.